So apparently, they started writing this in 1997, but then it was stuck in development hell for almost 20 years. Oh boy.
Embrace it and then overcome it.
Of all the people in the world to come after me, why would he send you?
So Gemini Man is a new action thriller directed by Ang Lee and starring Will Smith that's pretty much the greatest assassin in the world. Until one day when he finds out that he is being chased and hunted by a different assassin, and then he finds out that that assassin is his younger self. Alrighty guys, so let's get into Gemini Man. Gemini Man was a movie that I wasn't all that interested in. I mean, don't get me wrong, I think Will Smith is a terrific actor, and I love Ang Lee as a director. I mean, Life of Pi was an amazing film, but Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon is one of the greatest films I've ever seen. I will never forget the first time I saw that film. It blew me away, to say the least. But when I heard the plot of this movie, of a man that's being chased and hunted down by his younger self, this is a plot that's been done so many times beforehand, but I decided to give it a shot still, and I can say that there's a couple of things I liked about Gemini Man. Will Smith is very, very good in this movie, along with Mary Elizabeth Winstead and Benedict Wong. I love Will Smith, and even when he's in a bad movie, he is still the best part of that bad movie. He is still giving it his all. He is still charismatic. You can still tell he's putting in 100%. And I also thought that Will Smith worked really well with Mary Elizabeth Winstead and Benedict Wong, and there were some chuckle-worthy moments when it came to their banter. There's a motorcycle chase that starts off really, really cool, and there's also a awesome hand-to-hand combat fight that takes place, I believe, in the Paris catacombs. And when it comes to the CG, which is being advertised the shit out of, for the most part, the CG looks quite phenomenal, especially in the more dark scenes. I mean, you see close-ups of young Will Smith, and it looks like a young Will Smith, legitimately. Getting right into it though, oh my word. Gemini Man, not good. Starting out with the plot, an assassin is being hunted down by his younger self who was created by the man who trained him. You have seen this plot done a zillion times beforehand in 90s action movies. This movie was originally written in 1997, but ever since then, it has been rewritten so many times by other writers. Now here's the thing, I would not mind a 90s action movie being released in the late 2010s if at least it was a fun movie that didn't take itself seriously. This movie from the very start takes itself way too seriously. This movie is way too melodramatic for its own good. And to that end, not only is it cliche as can be, but it is predictable to the T. There was one particular thing that was about to happen, and I said to my boss this: if they're going where I think they're going with this is going to be stupid as can be. And sure enough, it absolutely did, and I just thought, oh, for God's, really? Now yes, the plot story has been done a billion times before, but where this took the plot was just into stupid territory. Going back to the performances, while Will Smith, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, and Benedict Wong were very good, Clive Owen, what movie was he in? I love Clive Owen, he is a terrific actor, but here, he is just so bad. He's easily one of the worst performances I have seen all year. I never felt intimidated by him. He just came off as a one-note wooden villain, and every time I saw him on screen, I was bored out of my mind, to which leads me to my next thing. This movie was freaking boring, man. When the movie isn't on its fine action sequences, I mean, the action sequences aren't amazing, they're well done, but they're not amazing. When the film wasn't on its action sequences, all this movie is just talk, 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 talk. I don't mind a lot of dialogue in a movie as long as the dialogue is good, but the dialogue is just, it is hammed so hard onto us, it is crazy. Not just that, but it is just exposition throughout. Everything is explained to us so heavily to the point where I was just thinking, okay, I get it, stop it, I get it, you've said this now how many times? And I got to a point where I was just thinking, okay, let's get back to the old and young Will Smith fighting each other. Another thing that I was not a fan of was just how this movie looked. Now, when it came to the technical aspects, Ang Lee shot Gemini Man at 120 frames per second, which is supposedly ultra realistic. Like, as if you're there on set. Not just that, but he shot the film in 4K and 3D, so essentially he is going all out. Now, my screening for Gemini Man was not in 120 frames per second, but there were so many shots of this movie of just how they looked. My boss and I were whispering to each other, this just looks weird. And when it comes to the high frame rate, it depends on how it's done. Like, I was one of the few that did not mind the 48 frames for the Hobbit movies, well, minus Battle of the Five Armies. The look came off way too weird, and when I was watching Gemini Man, I thought, I can understand why people don't like the look of this. Not just the look though, but there were a lot of scenes that were just, the lighting just seemed off to me. I don't know what it was. Going back to the action scene that starts with a motorcycle chase, the end of this action scene was so bad and so laughable to the point where I was just thinking, okay, what? Also, for the most part, like I mentioned, the CG is quite phenomenal, but there are a couple of scenes in particular, especially the final scene. I mean, oh my god. But the CGI in the final scene of this movie, which is in broad daylight, looked terrible. So overall, Gemini Man can be entertaining at times. There are some good performances, mainly from Will Smith, and I liked the chemistry that he had with Benedict Wong and Meredith Weinstein. Not to mention, the action sequences are fine, and the CG for the most part is quite great. But the movie, other than that, is just bogged down by a story that's been done so many times. It's melodramatic, predictable, cliche as can be, and to add on top of it, the film just had a very uncanny look to it. But the worst part of it all is that Gemini Man was just a boring movie, so all in all, I'm gonna give Gemini Man a 1.5 out of 5 stars. This movie was in development hell for about 20 years, with the script just being rewritten constantly, and yeah, it shows. Now, to be fair, there are some scripts that have been in development hell for a long time that do work out, but this just ain't one of them. Alrighty guys, so comment down and let me know below. Are you guys looking forward to seeing Gemini Man this weekend? Are you not looking forward to seeing it this weekend? Let me know below. If you want to follow me on social media, I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch. I'm also on Snapchat and Stardust. So if you guys want to follow me on all those social media platforms, all the links and the usernames are in the description below. I hope you all enjoyed my review of Gemini Man. If so, please hit that like button, share, and subscribe. Also, don't forget to hit that notification bell for whenever a new video of mine goes live. If you guys want to see any of my previous 2 reviews, please click either right there or there. And of course, until my next review, I will see you all next time.